6:23, welcome back to BT, and Melanie Bannister and I have been chatting about back to school in the entire commercial break. Your son's 13 and a half.
Yeah.
I've got a 7 and a half going on 10-year-old who likes to worry about going back to school but loves it. Like the day he got out of school this past summer, he was like, I can't wait to get back to school and I want this teacher and da-da-da. And now he's like, I don't want summer to end. So we need to transition him back to the routine. How do we get our kids started in that?
Well, you speak of routine, and that's really important to start with because it takes a few weeks to get kids back on a schedule. And I know that as parents, we love that more relaxed start to the day and more relaxed evenings in the summer, but that's not the reality of the school routine. So it takes a few weeks to get them on a schedule. So start pretty soon of backing up that bedtime and getting them into bed in a time that they will be when they're in school. And
can you give us a ballpark on bedtimes for kids when it comes to how much sleep they need to really thrive at school?
They need to be well rested to thrive at school.
Right.
There's lots of stuff out there you can go online to look up. My 13-and-a-half-year-old, much to his dismay, I like to see him getting 10 or 11 hours of sleep at night. My 8-year-old, I'm trying to get her to have 12 hours of sleep a night, if possible. But during the summer, that's definitely not been happening.
No. So you dial that back, you get a little bit more routine day-to-day, slowly, almost like dealing with jet lag, right? And then organize the back to school, right?
Yes, because if they're more organized and they know what that routine is going to be and where their stuff is, they're going to feel a bit more relaxed as well. So you start to go out and buy school supplies and involve them in this process because for a few reasons, this will get them thinking and excited about school because all kids love to get new pencils and crayons. And if you're able to splurge a little bit on the small items, it might cost $1 or $2 extra, but it's worth it because having a few fancy erasers or a cool USB for the teenagers is a little bit more fun and will help with the excitement. Get all those supplies into their backpack that they are going to be using and organize the area at home. Where are they going to study and have some extra supplies at hand and make it fun if you can. And school clothes, that's one of the best parts about going back to school is that shopping. So again, start this stuff early so that it's not a stressful event. If you go in a couple days before school starts to get your supplies and to do the clothes shopping, it's going to be stressful, and instead of being a fun, exciting thing, it's going to increase
totally. And
stress.
then they get there and they love the style, but they don't have their size, and then they're stressed about that. So, and then we also have to prepare for getting the day-to-day routine of back to school. I know it's the most wonderful time of the year for many parents until you go, right, I have to make lunches.
Yes.
Dinners, what's that going to look like? Yes. No more barbecues.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing that you can have them involved in, find out what they would like to see in their lunch and take them out shopping and look at some options. You want to have healthy snacks because, again, a well-fed brain will focus better in class. So involve them in that process. Find some snacks that you agree on. And then even the few days before school, start packing them up into little packages that are easy to grab in the morning. The dried goods, right? I mean, an apple you might want to cut up the night before, but the dried goods you can package in little, one-day snacks, and they can grab them.
So what about the kid or the teen that doesn't worry about going back to school as much, but then starts school and the first week all of a sudden doesn't like the dynamic or finds it's different or doesn't like their teacher and they're anxious about it? How do you help them through that? Yeah,
I mean, you really want to talk to them about this, and I've been through this where the first week went great and then maybe 10 days into school we had tears before school, and you want to hold it together in front of your child. You can cry in the car on the way home or on the way to work, but you really need to talk them through that, have them stay at school because that's important. It also helps to reinforce that good things will happen and it's not as scary as they think. But find out, get to the root of the problem. What is it that they're worried about? Is it the teacher, that they had hoped to be in a different class with their friends? Then talk through that with them and remind them they'll see their friends on the playground and focus on all the positive things. But you do need to acknowledge what their concerns are.
And get them to school.
Yes.
And if need be, talk to the teachers, of course.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes.
Include the teachers.
Melanie Bannister, always a wealth of information. Sylvan Learning, if you need more info as you get your children or teenagers prepared for back to school. And if you're watching right now and you're nervous about school, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. Everybody struggles a little bit in school, and then we get it together, and then we look back and go, okay, isn't that easy and fun?